gamers, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm bringing you game review number 7 here, and this I think is going to be an interesting one as, well, you'll see when we get into it. Anyways, I want to say if you haven't seen any of my previous game review videos, please feel free to check those out. I'll leave a link to that right up here. And then all these games come from my streams that I did when the game was in the closed beta. And so if you would like to check those out, feel free to, and I'll leave another link right up here for that as well. And finally, if you enjoy this, please let me know in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I very much appreciate that. Anyways, let's get into this game review. I always like to start out by looking at my opponent's unit deck here and see how it compares to mine, and you know, try to develop a strategy from here. So starting out, we can see he's got the Wasp. We both have the Blink Hunters, so the Wasp is a tough matchup sometimes. You gotta be careful with how fast they are and for all the raids that they can do, but with me having the recalls, I can play pretty defensive against that, or at least I should, and I should be okay as long as I don't move out too far and get caught out of position. Next up here, if we look at the Tier 2 Foundry, he's got the Mortars and the King Crabs. Both are very strong units, and against my Tier 2, I would have, you know, kind of a tough time, I think. It kind of just depends on if I'm able to overwhelm him at all with some of my own King Crabs, or if I'm able to get on top of his Mortars that he might be using. So you definitely need to be very careful against the Mortars. They can be very tough to play up against, and especially if you let your opponent mass these up quite a bit, it can be very tough to fight into that. So that's something to keep in mind, and so I'd say his Tier 2 Foundry is a little bit stronger than mine. If we look at the Tier 3 Foundry, he's got the Predator, and I got the Heavy Ballista here, and the Predator is going to do very well against air units. It's mostly an anti-air unit, although it can still do okay against ground units, but mostly an anti-air unit. So that's something to keep in mind if I were to try going into my Starforge. It'd be pretty tough for me if he's able to get up to his Tier 3 Foundry. So if we do compare his Foundry to my Starforge, I got the Dragonflies and Falcons, and so those would do very well against his, or the Falcons at least I should say, would do very well against his Tier 2 here. The Falcons should do well against the Blink Hunters. However, you have to still be careful with the Falcons, because you need to have, they're very slow, and so you just need to make sure you have the right amount in order to take on Blink Hunters. If you trickle them in one at a time, they can get picked off by Blink Hunters. So you do still need to be careful with that. And then the Valkyrie isn't really going to help me in any way with his Foundry units. So Tier 2 Starforge might be an option here with the Falcons, if he's only going Tier 2 Foundry. However, if he's able to get up to Tier 3 with those Predators, it's going to be very tough for me. So if we look at his Tier 2 Starforge now, we can see he's got the Steamers and the airships. So the airships are going to do very well against all my Starforge units. You know, if I were able to get into Valkyries against his airships, you know, my Valkyries should do fine, assuming I'm able to build up enough of those. But if he also goes into Tier 3 Starforge, then it would just become, you know, kind of a Valkyrie war at that point. However, since he has the Steamers, I definitely would need to be careful of those with the speed that they have and the amount of DPS that they can do. So in that case, it would be difficult for me to go Starforge against his Starforge. So I would give him a slight advantage there because of the Steamers. Would do pretty well, and then the airships would do well against my Starforge. If he were to go Starforge, I could go into my Foundry. The Heavy Hunters would do just fine against airships and Valkyries, and then the King Crabs would do okay against Steamers. And it would just come down to who's being more effective and who's taking, you know, the better fights and able to position better. You know, if he's able to kite me well enough with the Steamers, that could be difficult. However, if I'm able to get up to Tier 3 Foundry and get some Heavy Ballistas, then I should do pretty well against whatever he might throw at me, as long as I got some Heavy Hunters ready to fight up against some potential airships or Valkyries, which wouldn't be too difficult. So, with that said, let's get into this game here and see how it goes. Looks like he's going to tech right away into King Crabs and Mortars, and he's on just one base. And I already expanded, so I'm going to have to play very defensive here as I wait for his potential King Crab rush here. So I like that I'm building up my recalls here. I'm just getting them out and getting them next to my workers so I can defend those. If he brings any wasps in, I can pretty easily defend those with some recalls as long as I have them mixed in with the workers here. So you can't really, if he were to fully dive me here, I'm not sure if he's going to do that or not, but if he were to dive me here while I have my recalls on top of my workers, my recalls should do a pretty good job of taking out the wasp. He might get a few workers, but it wouldn't really be worth it overall. So let's see what he does here. So now he's just going to harass my resource base, so that's a smart move I think by him. So I'm just going to move over there to defend. And I'm careful not to get fully surrounded by the wasps, not to take too much damage. I want to be careful not to lose recalls if possible, so I'm going to need as many as I can get from his king crabs to come in. So now he's got a pretty good surround on my recalls, but because I'm up against this wall here, his wasps can't fully surround me, and therefore I think I get a slight advantage here against those wasps and take out a pretty good amount of those. So I think that overall is pretty good for me. However, he did do a pretty decent amount of damage to my first expansion there, and so he did get some good damage on me at least. Okay, well, that's good. So at least I still have a decent number of recalls here. Some of them are low on health. Here come his king crabs. Now, I probably make a little bit of a mistake here by targeting the wasp. I think at this point I need to completely ignore the wasps and just focus the king crabs down as quickly as possible. And so I think I basically just wasted an entire shot there that I could have used against this king crab. Looks like I'm going to target the king crab now, which is good, but I think I could have gotten a whole nother shot on the king crab. So I'm a little bit behind in that regard, I think. I'm doing a good job, kind of, of kiting and focusing the king crab. And then I recall to the other side to try to save my recalls a little bit. Now here, I also have a lot of resources saved up. I'm waiting for my tech to come in, and I'm trying to stall so that once my tech comes in, I'll just be able to flood him with my upgraded techs. However, I think I should have popped out quite a few more recalls here so that I could do a little more damage to him and slow down his attack against me here. So yeah, and then I also was attacking too many of the wasps there, and I should just 100% be focusing on the king crabs only. So another little bit of a mistake there for me. Now I'm popping out a few more recalls, and see, I should have more recalls out at this point. I was trying to stockpile everything for my tech to finish, but I don't think that was worth it. He's already doing a lot of damage to my workers very fast here. And it looks like I'm a little slow getting my tech out as well. So I'm making some falcons, and then some dragonflies too. I'm actually not sure if that was a misclick or not. I should have just went all falcons. I didn't really need dragonflies. I think maybe I thought, you know, the dragonflies would do fine here, and they would also give a little more mobility. Obviously, they're a little bit quicker. But the falcons are just going to do more damage against ground units, and that's really all I need at this point. So I think the dragonflies are unnecessary. So it would have been better to just go falcon more damage than I wanted. And yeah, he definitely did quite a bit of damage there to me. Wasn't good. And I'm trying to get my army over there to help save me. So I couldn't get there in time, so that's unfortunate. And he's just bringing in a few more wasps here. I cleaned that out. Yeah, it definitely isn't looking good for me. I lost a lot of workers there at my main, and he destroyed the resource base. If I was able to save that resource base there, I would probably be in a very good position here. And it looks like he's already teching up to Predator. So that's definitely going to make it even more difficult for me here. At this point, I don't think there's much left I could do here to possibly save the game. The only possibility I could see at this point is just turtling, but he's getting more resources at this point, and so I'm thinking, you know, maybe I can get over there and do some damage to him. Maybe if I were able to build up enough falcons, maybe I could overpower his predators. But honestly, I'm not even sure how well falcons do up against predators. But you know, assuming I could mass up enough falcons, perhaps they could take out a few predators here and there. And so now my opponent goes into a second resource base, which I think is smart for him. He knows I have some falcons, and falcons are extremely slow, so it's just going to be very difficult for me to get my falcons across the map to counterattack him. And now he's sending in more wasps to potentially harass me, maybe pick off some more workers, or maybe just delay me here. So I think he knows that if he can just delay me, that's going to work out for him better in the long run anyways. So I'm trying to pick those off, and I see it's not worth chasing those around, so now I'm just going to go straight for his first expansion here, it looks like. I just make a few more units back at my base to try to clear up the wasps, and then I just have to send them all over at this point and see if I can take that out. It looks like he's got some mortars, which is interesting, and some predators coming out. And it looks like I'm dealing with those just fine, actually, for the most part. And then he's also creating some more blink hunters now. So I should have tried to keep all my units together there. Your units, especially air units, are going to do so much better when they're grouped up against anti-air units. That's the quickest way to lose all your air units is if you split them up. They're just not going to be as effective against the anti-air ground units and whatnot. So that's another mistake by me there. But now I'm trying to clean up the blink hunters. But at this point, I think it's just too late. His expansion is already producing workers, and he's getting a lot of extra resources in from there. And my reinforcements are just way too slow. So think I'll probably be tapping out here soon. But I don't think there's much more I can do at this point. I could potentially do my own expansion here. I would still probably lose, but I think that might be the best option for me at this point because the Falcons are just too slow. So potentially I could expand here and turtle up and maybe have a chance if my opponent doesn't play it well enough. But I think my opponent is pretty strong here, and I think he knows how to finish this game off. So looks like I'm going to try one last time here to mass up some units and some Falcons. And as I said earlier, I think perhaps if I did not make those dragonflies and only made the Falcons instead, I think I might have had a slightly better chance here. I think the Falcons would have done much better than the dragonflies. So that was another mistake that I made here. The Falcons are doing okay here, but I think it's just a little too, it's too little too late, pretty much, so. I think I still lose this. Yeah. Just too little too late there. I'm trying to fall back and get more reinforcements, but it's just not going to be enough. And there we go. So I waved the white flag there and wasn't ready for the rush. And that'll do it. So anyways, as you can see there, that was a pretty sloppy game from me. I think I had a few minor good moments there in that game, but overall kind of a mess. But that happens. And so hopefully you guys learned something there, learn what not to do for the most part. And I think going into my Tier 2 Starforge was okay. I think I just needed to focus on Falcons only. I needed to try to pop those out a lot quicker too. And I think I should have made some more recalls before my tech came online. And if I had some more of those and if I did a better job focusing down the king crabs, I think I would have been okay there. And I think I would have had a good chance. I could have also potentially went into my Tier 2 Foundry instead of Starforge. I think that might have been okay, just would have depended on how well I could defend with the recalls. So if I defended better with those and then popped out some king crabs, I think I could have cleaned up the rest of his army and been okay. And then I would have had to try to get into my Tier 3 Foundry as quickly as possible, because I don't think king crabs alone would have been good enough for me to win that game. But if I could get into my Tier 3 and get some heavy blisses out, then I think I would have been okay at that point. So I think those are a few different options, a few things that I could have done better. But anyways, good game to my opponent. He played that very well. And I think that's going to be it for today. Please let me know if you think there's anything else I might have been able to do there and improve on. I'm always looking for ways to get better at this game. I can't wait to play it some more so I can implement all these different things that I'm reviewing here. I feel like I'm learning a lot going over all these different games. I just need a chance now to put it into practice and implement that. So I can't wait for the game to come back. Definitely stay tuned. I'll definitely be bringing you guys any news and information that I can find about the game. And hopefully as soon as I know when it's coming back, I'll definitely let you guys know as well. So anyways, thank you guys again so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd very much appreciate that. And I'll see you guys again soon in the next one.